Let's take a walk downtown while I tell you all about the fact that people are still getting fired for what they post on social media. So, if you've been fired for posting on social media, chances are you've thought about your First Amendment rights. And here's the thing, your First Amendment probably won't save you. Just because you have freedom of speech doesn't mean you have freedom from consequences. So if you get fired or written up over a post you made on your personal social media page, thinking the First Amendment would protect you, you might want to keep watching because it's probably not what you think it is. The First Amendment protects you from government censorship, not your boss, unless your employer is the government, like a public school, a police department, or another public agency. The First Amendment doesn't apply to private companies. So no, your job at the downtown clothing store or that community finance company isn't bound by your right to post whatever you want online. Private employers can legally discipline or fire you for things you post, especially if it violates company policy, damages the company's reputation, or causes workplace drama. So let's talk about the most common reasons people get in trouble over social media posts. The obvious, bad-mouthing your employer or coworkers. Even if you don't name names, if they can identify the workplace or the people, that's a real problem and it can get you fired. Posting hate speech, threats, or anything discriminatory. You'd be shocked how many people lose their jobs over racist or sexist content they posted at midnight. Then they delete it at 12:05 thinking that it's gone. But you know what? Screenshots last forever, and people are constantly watching. And then there's violating company policy or confidentiality. If you post something internal, customer data, or something that was supposed to stay in the meeting room, they don't have to give you a warning. They actually don't have to give you a warning about any of this, to be frank. And of course, there's embarrassing the brand. If your employer thinks your post could hurt their reputation, even if it's on your own personal time, you may still be held accountable. And yes, even jokes or memes can get you in hot water, depending on the content and the optics. Now, there are a few situations where you might be protected. For example, if you were talking about work conditions with other employees, something like wages or discrimination, that could be protected concerted activity under the National Labor Relations Act. And that's a maybe, but that's a possibility. Now, if you're actually a government employee, you may have First Amendment protections, but even then, those rights are limited if your speech disrupts the workplace or otherwise affects your job duties. Bottom line, free speech isn't free of consequences. So before you hit post, ask yourself, would I want my boss, my HR rep, or the internet at large to see this? The answer to the question should tell you a lot. Now, if you've been fired or disciplined for a post and you're not sure it was legal, make sure you document everything. Save screenshots of the post, the write-up, and how it was handled. If you know of someone else who is outside of your protected class, someone who doesn't look like you, someone who is much younger than you, someone who's of a different gender, etc. If you know of someone else outside of your protected class who did the same thing and had no consequences for doing so, make sure you note that as well. Are they treating you unfairly compared to how they treated someone else? If you believe that you have a case, speak with an attorney, especially if you think the post involve workplace issues like discrimination or retaliation. At the end of the day, you just learn from it. Keep moving forward, but make sure you know your rights and also make it a point to play smart because you might be blown away by the fact that your employers watch all this stuff you post. And not only your employers, but your coworkers do too. I've had a number of cases where coworkers have turned in their colleagues and resulted in the employee getting fired. So it's one of the first places, the internet, that is, your social media, is one of the first places employers check these days when they're looking at hiring you, giving you a promotion, disciplining you. It just, it's one of the go-to places now. And employees always argue, I have rights. It's my First Amendment. I can say whatever I want. But remember, when you started working at your company, you probably signed a social media policy. And even if you didn't, it doesn't matter. It's at will, and your employment probably is at will. You probably don't have a contract. And if you don't, then your employment is at will, which gives your employer a lot of flexibility. And if they're looking for a reason to fire you, a lot of times social media, your social media posts will give one to them. So be smart. Take care of you.